Do you want to go from this to this?
Besmirch Billy.
Hell yeah, you do. And in this video, I'll go through everything you need to get to the end game as fast as possible, so you can start powering up and dominate the new season. Starting us off right away at level 1, there's 3 things you need to consider. In case you're a shit one brain cell dad gamer that hasn't completed the campaign yet, then go do that. And in case you're a casual shit 2 brain cell dad gamer, then do the seasonal quest. It's rather fun. But if you're a Giga Chad gamer such as myself, then we're heading straight for the Helltides, and this is what you want to be doing here. Just run around dominating every goddamn enemy you can find. You're skipping the Blood Maiden, that shit is too slow. Same goes for the events, as they're but a few that are golden here. Instead you just kill shit, gain cinders, and open up chests. When you get a rare item or legendary, just equip it right away. The only items you need to compare to see if they are stronger are weapons. Now, as you're just starting out, there's no reason to start crafting unless the Helltide is on cooldown. Instead, what you'll do is just keep dominating the Helltides until you've got your class quest. Do this instantly, my man or woman, as it's a massive power-up. The only difference is that of the Fat Wood Choppers. Their class quest is shit, and there's no reason to do this yet. Either way, get that shit sorted and head back to the Helltides. When you're roughly level 35 or so, head for the Capstone Dungeon. And why roughly 35? Well, damn, before you unlock all of the aspects and tempering manuals, you'll be a weak boy. For future alts, however, you can complete it as early as level 25 or so. But before doing that, it's time to power up. This is what we need to do before each Capstone Dungeon. Craft some elixirs, spend your obols, craft some gems, temper, enchant, and imprint aspects. The biggest power boosts while leveling up comes from the latter 3, so let's focus on those. Tempering is a humongous power up early, and this is what you want to be doing. For all of your offensive gear, you slap on a damage temper. Namely, if you're a barb, go for close damage. If you're ranged, go for damage to distant, and so forth. This is going to instantly skyrocket your damage. When it comes to the defensives, it's important that you temper max life everywhere. This temper is just massively overtuned while leveling and will make you an immortal god. You then head on over to the enchanter, get scammed, and try to roll some resistances. You're not spending a lot of time here, rather do 1 or 2 re-rolls to drop some of the useless stats on your gear. And finally, you'll imprint some aspects. Basically, you'll imprint what you've already salvaged, if anything. On alts, you'll have a full codex unlocked and can slap on a full build. This is also where you could go hunting for some aspects in dungeons, in case they're required for your build. Either way, you're now allowed to blow up the first Capstone Dungeon. And why do we want to go so early? For starters, you'll get a lot more experience the higher world tier you're in. Not only the experience bonus from the world tier in itself, but with the Season 5 change, you'll be able to receive extra base experience per monster level as high as 30 levels higher. Previously, this was 10 levels, meaning you always wanted to fight enemies 10 levels higher. This has now gone up to 30. When you're in Helltides, this also means that Profane Mind Cage will be highly valuable as long as you can actually kill the higher level enemies El Mao. Alright, so when you've swapped world tier in Kyovashad, then is time for some additional Helltides. Hooray! Well, if you want, you can do some Nightmare dungeons, but typically I wait just slightly with those. And why is that? Well, damn, because we won't gain any glyph experience along with typically being weak as hell. If you're in Helltides, then you can at least go the rat path and leech some experience from friendly nearby players. If you're in a group, though, then that should happen automatically. In D4, it's always better to be in a group, by the way. Because fuck solo players. Another friendly tip here is that about the seasonal journey. If you press U on your keyboard, which on console is right next to the buy a fucking PC button, then you'll be able to see it. These urns has to be in the experience tab, and you'll get these as you level up. This along with crafting and chugging an elixir, and if you can afford it preferably incenses as well, is how you can boost your experience easily. So personally, I recommend to just keep dominating the Helltides again. At level 35, you'll be able to slap on your freshly collected sacred items. Make sure to do the whispers within the Helltides, and when you have a full set of sacreds, it's time to do the tempering and aspects again, followed by either heading straight for the new capstone dungeon if you're playing a God Tier build, or blow up some nightmare dungeons until you're roughly level 50. This is when you'll unlock your paragons, and you'll get a massive power boost. Just go and rip Elias a new one there, and you'll be in World Tier 4 before you know it. Now this is where things turns interesting. And why is that? Well damn, because you're basically in the end game. At level 55, you'll be able to equip ancestral gear, but with Season 5 comes a massive change. Once you are finally level 100, you'll receive substantially more gear, so you want to prioritize getting there as fast as possible. On top of that, you need to start blasting nightmare dungeons. You'll be able to complete whispers easier in Helltides now than before though, so make sure to get yourself a decent sigil. It's then time to head into nightmare dungeons. You could in theory just keep doing this until you're level 100, but at the least you should do this until you've got your glyphs leveled up to 15. If you're bored, you could potentially head into the pit and blow that up as well then. Around this time is also when you start transitioning into an endgame build, seeing as most leveling builds end their path somewhere between level 50 and 70. Mine ends at the latter, so you'll want to keep looking for gear that suits the endgame build at this time. And what you need to know about nightmare dungeons is why they're overpowered, and that's due to the events in there. You see an event? Do it. They're by far the best way to gain experience. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, and what about the new stuff? The infernal hordes and shit? Well damn, they sucked donkey balls on the PTR, so I wouldn't rely on them for experience. Now I could be proven wrong, and they could have gotten a substantial buff to the experience gained, but I doubt it. So I'll be going the typical route via nightmare dungeons all the way to level 100 baby. You need to get your glyphs leveled up anyhow, so may as well do it while leveling. You also most certainly want to be using a nightmare dungeon tier list. And why is that? Well damn, the experience can be as much as 5 times higher in a great dungeon than in a shit one. Previously, I've been doing my own calculations for these, but that shit was annoying as hell, so instead, I'm recommending the Max Roll Experience tier list. It's great as well. And that, my friends, is how you progress to level 100 as fast as possible. A bit shorter video than usual, but that's all good. Now go kill some fucking demons.